Okay. Thank you so much for being willing to participate in my survey today. Can I have your name?
John Wilbur.
Thank you so much again, John. Now this survey is about teleportation. Do you know what teleportation is?
Yes.
Okay. So if we had the ability to implement teleportation in today's world and everyday life, would you do it? Why or why not?
Yes. I've been a lifelong Star Trek watcher and sci-fi guy. So I've always thought that'd be one of the coolest things ever, to just be able to go to another part of the world instantaneously. Sure.
Okay, and how do you think that it would benefit society at large?
I think it could pretty much eliminate world hunger and lots of things. You could beam food across the world to somebody that needs it.
Okay, so you are thinking of teleportation not only limited to humans, but to everything.
Sure.
So we can teleport anything we want.
Right.
So we could kind of get rid of like ships, like transporting ships and trains and things.
Trucks, everything. Yeah.
Okay. I'm thinking if we did that, that would actually cause a lot of industries to go out of business and a lot of people would lose jobs. Mm-hmm. So economical sense, what do you think implications that this would have?
I think it'd be a real reset.
Reset.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it would put a lot of people out of work.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it would, the benefits would outweigh the problems that it would create.
The positives would outweigh the negatives. Now, can you tell me what your positives you can think of?
Well, you have somebody that has a medical need someplace, they can be beamed right into an emergency room.
Get faster. So like if you're out in the woods and something happens to you and you need to go to an emergency room, if you need if you break your leg and you need whatever, we could teleport this person even on the battlefield in wars.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah.
We could save lives in wars.
Oh yes. Yeah, just about any application. I'm a lifeguard too. I think how great would it be if a lifeguard on the beach sees somebody way out there in trouble and they can just
they jump in the ocean and they take them out, the person who's drowning, and they teleport them to emergency room.
Well, even before that, they wouldn't have to jump in the water. They'd beam them out of the water to the shore.
Well, so you're thinking that's kind of like breaking rules, doing it to someone without their consent. So really, we would have to stay within the laws of ethics,
right,
and only apply it on ourselves and anything that gives a consent.
Right. Okay.
However, in an emergency situation like that, you can't really, if you're drowning in the ocean, sign a paper for consent.
But it's the same as a lifeguard if you're going to rescue somebody and they can't
consent.
Consent is implied in an emergency situation. Like if I were to find someone alongside the road that was unconscious, I could help them even though they haven't given me consent, because consent is implied by their unconsciousness.
Yeah, I've actually talked about in a previous video, you're like number 11. I'm collecting a playlist of as many as I can.
Right.
So in one of the previous videos, if we had the power or whatever ability, people abuse power, and they would abuse the opportunity for the teleportation.
Oh, right.
So, but they say, we're really, what it comes down to is, do the positives outweigh the negatives, or do the negatives outweigh the positives? And Batman thinks that the positives outweigh the negatives?
I do.
Okay. So, I mean, I've heard other people say that they think that the negatives outweigh the positives. And this is why, when we gather information, data, whatever, we compare them and we just see the statistical data.
Right.
Thanks again.
You're welcome.
Have a good day.
You too.